Happy Friday. It's Ellen from Wild Birds Unlimited in Joliet. We go live on Fridays around 5:30 to tell you what's new, what's happening in the store, but also what's happening out in nature. So let's get to it. Let's talk about it. Don't forget, like my comment says, we want to hear from you. We want to know what you're seeing at your feeders. Are you seeing any dark-eyed juncos, any white-throated sparrows, any white-crowned sparrows? What are you seeing the most at your feeders right now? We'd love to hear from you if you're seeing any, especially if you're seeing any winter visitors, because I know that's a big hot topic. A lot of us are so sad that we're saying goodbye to some of our feathered friends, such as our hummingbirds and orioles. It's so nice to see some winter new faces coming up in a time where it's starting to get colder and darker and a little bit more dreary outside. It's nice to see new visitors, new bird faces at our feeders, so that's really exciting. We have heard from a couple people in Will County seeing juncos already, so that's really exciting. Winter is on its way. Juncos are typically like the token bird that signifies that winter is here, or that winter is coming. So it's kind of a cool thing to know that the seasons are changing and the colors in the trees are changing. It's starting to look absolutely stunning out there. So it's just a fun time to enjoy the outside, enjoy the birds, and enjoy your feeders. So let's get to what's happening in the store. We have a couple great events coming up tomorrow. We have 2 events coming. So in the morning from 8 to 10 a.m., we have an in-store workshop. It's in partnership with our Will County Audubon Society, and some of their members are going to be here. They're photographers in their own right, but they are going to be teaching us how to photograph the birds at our feeders with a little modification. So you might notice that even outside right now, you can see kind of through that back window, the setups are looking a little different, and that's on purpose because we are trying to stage it so that you can get the best photos possible. Now, we do have limited seating for that event, but we do have a few spaces still left. So if you really want to join, I really recommend that you call the store or email us tonight right away, or message me on this Facebook Live so I can add you to the list. Yes, this is going to be rain or shine unless it's a total downpour. Then we might have to reschedule, but it's on and planned for tomorrow morning still. So keep that in mind. Then in the afternoon or early afternoon at 11 o'clock, I'm presenting on squirrels, feed them or defeat them. So if you would like to learn more about our backyard furry critters, what types are in Illinois, some fun facts about them, but also how you can either feed them or defeat them, or maybe do a combination of the two. This presentation is perfect for anyone that's a hobbyist for bird feeding, whether you've been feeding for many years or just starting out. This is a great presentation to learn some of those tips and tricks on how to either feed them or defeat them. So that's tomorrow at 11. You don't have to call the store to register to save a seat, but it is recommended. Again, seating may be limited, but everyone is welcome. It shouldn't be a super long presentation, but so if you are standing or shopping while you're listening, that's totally okay too. On Monday, the 20th, we're doing our monthly bird outing. So that is again on Monday. It starts at 9:30 and we meet at the Rock Run Preserve at the Black Road Access. Meet me in the parking circle and we'll go over optics and then we'll be on our way. Should be a really good time. I'm hoping to see some winter visitors, so that should be fun. And of course the fall colors should be so spectacular. So if you are into wanting to join us and are available, please feel free to stop in. And then on the 24th, which is a Friday, is our second class with the avian artistry. That is this class, if you may have seen some of the flyers that we have handed out. So the class 2 is all about inks. So we're going to be learning how to draw birds using inks. It should be a really fun time. This class, this session is here at Wild Birds Unlimited. It's from 6 to 8 p.m. You do have to register to be part of that. And to register, you either go on our website or go on our Facebook and click the link. It'll take you right to the sign-up sheet. It's $30 a class. So really, really great opportunity to hang out with your fellow bird nerds, but also get some artistry out of it, and you create your own work. And here I'm going to show you mine from last time when we did pencil sketching. I still can't believe that I actually created this. And yes, I'll take it out so you guys can see exactly what, see, it's my paper. I did it, signed it on the bottom and everything. But it's actually incredible how well Dottie explains how to do the skills, and I was absolutely blown away that I was able to create this in 2 hours. And honestly, it didn't take 2 hours, but the class is 2 hours, and it gives her enough time to give you all the elements that you need to do a great job at your art and help you along each step of the process. So again, very cool. Look at how cool it turned out. I love how all my feathers and even the little lines look like wispy little feathers. It's so cool. Check out my tree branch, guys. I still am so surprised at how well it turned out. Definitely something worth it. I had a blast and I learned a ton out of it. So every class, when you participate, you leave with a piece of work. So you leave with your own art, your supplies are provided. You can take some of those supplies even home with you. So again, super cool activity, great for everyone. I would say kids 12 and older would be best unless you know your child and if they were able to handle it. But yeah, just it's a great activity. I definitely recommend that you come and join us for that. But what we're having in the store, there's a couple other things that are happening. First off is our extended bird food sale for Daily Savings Club members. So if you are a member, you can enjoy that 15% off plus your additional 5% all month long. So through the end of this month, you can save extra on your bird food sale. So if you are needing some extra food or want to stock up for winter coming up, this is a great opportunity to do that. We also have in store all of our fall and Halloween decor, whether it be tabletop or stakes, flags, mats, door decor. Our art poles are all on sale. They're 40% off while supplies last. So if you have your eye or had your eye on something, maybe for this year or maybe if you're thinking for next year or gifts, this is a time to snag them while they're still here. Shop early for the best selection, all right? Also happening at the store is we have a really cool activity. Again, it's in store only, but it's our great bird feeder candy count. It is back and with a ghoulish twist. So this activity you come in store to do. It's just a counting game. Anyone can participate with a purchase in store. So you can't order online and then come in store. I mean, we could, but it just gets a little confusing. So it's best if you come in store because we have to know that you're brave enough to do the feeder of fright, right? Well, this feeder is stuffed full with all sorts of candy in here. So you can see it's all bricked in there, nice and tight and compact. And what you do is after you've made a purchase, you're entitled to one guess. So you can take your little piece of paper and write your name and phone number on it and then make your best guess. Yes, you can make as many guesses as you'd like through Halloween. We will announce a winner on November 1st. So it gives you plenty of time to come in store and take a guess at and win the feeder plus the candy. All right, so it's a $42.99 value. And you can take it home. This may be yours, all right? I have a feeling we're going to be talking to a lucky winner soon. New in store, we have just one thing that has come in, and I did preview some of these last week, but we have gotten in the large cylinder for winter blend. So last week, I believe I showed you, oh, actually, I'm blocking the merchandiser. where you can see our winter blend. The small cylinders, the large cylinders are on the top shelf, and then the bagged seed, the loose seed, is on the middle shelf. And of course, you know winter blend is the best to provide to your birds this season and through winter because it's packed with all the protein and the energy, the fats that they need to survive and thrive and do their best during the winter season. Plus, it is honestly so good. If I was a bird, I'd be totally happening with winter super blend because it's honestly the best to provide to your birds if you are seasonally savvy. And again, what does seasonally savvy mean? Seasonally savvy is a term that we like to call when you are changing up what you're offering bird food wise for your birds to meet their demands for the season. So for example, in nesting season, we want to make sure that they have a lot more proteins in their diets, and because mom and dad are raising babies, and they also need a lot of calcium in their diet because mom needs calcium to help produce strong eggs, and those babies need calcium to help develop strong bones. So in winter or in spring, when you are being seasonally savvy, maybe perhaps you'd be putting out things that have, a little bit more calcium in it, like our plus blends, our bark butter all has calcium so you can help with that. Now in winter is all about stocking up on fats. And because of that, we want to make sure that we're offering the best that you can. The highest fat seed on the blend on the market is Winter Super Blend, but also suets are also a great option because again, birds need to stock up on fat because stored fat is the most used energy that they're using. So for example, if it's a really cold night and they haven't had enough fat in their diet, they actually lose muscle. And no one wants to use muscle because that is going to weaken their body. So make sure that you are providing high fat foods so that you're being seasonally savvy and helping those birds out. All right. So now that we've gotten done with that, let's talk about the big topic today. The big painful one, not to make it a total pun, but I thought it was kind of ironic that we were talking about that, and I wanted to talk about window strikes tonight because we've had quite a few people come in and talk either about window strikes or that something has happened at your own home or work where you are witnessing a window strike in action. Let's talk about it. What is it? Well, window strikes are just as how it sounds. It's when a bird collides with a window because they don't understand windows and they think it's a fly-through. So the reflection on the outside of your window is reflecting the mirrored image behind it. So if you have your beautiful yard with all the trees or the sky, the birds think that that reflection is a fly-through and they unintentionally collide with the window. Okay, now window strikes can be deadly to birds. And in fact, over 1 billion birds annually perish due to window strikes in the North America. So that's pretty impressive. That's pretty insane how many birds actually get harmed from that. And I think it's important to note that while many birds that collide with your windows sometimes get stunned, but then they come back to and then they fly off, many times we can say, oh, they're fine, they flew away, they'll be great. That's not always the case. In fact, many times those birds that do collide actually end up perishing later on because they have internal bleeding or internal damage that you don't see initially until it's a little too late for them. So let's talk about, we talked about what they are, we talked about why they happen. When they happen is a little bit, it can happen anytime, but more often than not, it happens more frequently during migration. And the reason for that is because more birds are on the move. So, when we had that big, horrific, fatal incident at McCormick Place. That was during migration season. So it's something to think about, as I know we're ending migration, or at least the peak of migration this month, but it's something to think about not only during high peak migration times, but all the time. Because truly a window strike can happen any time of the year. It doesn't happen just during migration. It can happen anytime, any day, okay? But how do we prevent them? Okay, I have some tips for you, believe it or not. So the idea to how to prevent window strikes is to break up the reflection. Okay, and I want to pull back just a second because I want to make a clear distinction between window strikes and something that happens in springtime, around breeding season, spring or summer even. And what happens during spring and summer when the birds are physically attacking the window is not the same as window strikes. Okay, when a bird is attacking the window during spring and summer, that is a bird perceiving its own reflection as another bird, and they are trying to drive it out of its territory. See, in spring and summer breeding season, birds are very territorial, and they don't want another male in their territory. So let's say that male cardinal is attacking your window or a mirror, and it's persistent. It will go after it over and over and over again and almost wear itself out, just attacking itself, its reflection, the other intruder in the window. That is not the same as a window strike. Okay, a window strike is when a bird thinks that the reflection on the outside of the window of the trees or the sky is a fly-through, and they fly full speed at that window. Okay, not the same as when a bird is attacking that window, and usually it's close up, right? It's like they're standing on the windowsill and they're pecking and trying to attack at that bird. That they see that reflection, it's them, but they think it's another intruder. Okay, not the same. So how do we protect birds from window strikes? That's the big question, right? Well, it's very simple, honestly. All it's about is breaking up that reflection on the outside of the window. Okay, so there are a couple things that we have here in store that you could use, and then there are some things that you can DIY. So one way that you could DIY it is using window paint, like the window markers that the stores use, or you can get probably at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. And you can make little, you can paint your own picture, but the idea is that you want it on the whole window, okay? So it's not just one little design, a smiley face in the middle, and then you're done. You have to make sure that you're breaking up the entire window reflection. Otherwise, the birds will just avoid your smiley face and go through another spot and then collide. Okay, so that's one option for a DIY. There are a few others, like making your own decals out of contact paper. We did that here one time. We made leaf patterns, and then you could tape them on the outside of the window and break up that reflection using contact paper and tissue paper. Kind of a cool activity for kids. So that's pretty fun. My two favorite ways, and the two ways that we deal with window strikes here at the store, are by either using window gems or feather-friendly markers. And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about, all right? So the first one we talked about was window gems. So I'm sure you've come by our window one time and seen this lovely display. This has all of our window gems on it. And essentially, window gems are these little decals. Oop, I took one out just so I can show you. So these are actually sandwiched in between this little glass so I can hang it on my wall, but I took it off just so I could show you. So window gems are essentially a little vinyl decal that you can stick onto your window. Let's get it all the way on there, right? Just like that. And you want them to go on the outside of the window, because if they're on the inside, they're not effective. Remember, the birds are seeing the reflection from the outside of the window, so we need to break up that reflection on the outside. So these guys, these little window decals are static cling. They just cling to the window. They are easy to remove. They're easy to clean, and you can clean your window and then reapply them. They come in a variety of styles. We have feathers, we have dandelions, we have the tree of life, hummingbirds, cardinals, butterflies, frogs, dragonflies, owls, birds, you name it, we probably have it. And each one of them comes with a different amount of decals. For example, I grabbed the rings and circle packet, and it has 22 images, 22 decals on there. So on the bottom here, you can see all the different patterns. For example, let's take the birds, for example. Birds, this pack has 7 decals in it, and they kind of look like that. They are, reasonably priced, and I think that they do a great job. One thing I really, really like about it is that, they are made in the U.S., so that's always positive, and it's just a simple way to keep birds from colliding with your windows. And again, the birds see this cool rainbow reflection. That's what's making the breakup. That is what makes it work. They see that rainbow effect, that prism, and they know it is not a fly-through. Now, to us, it's pretty awesome because if these are on your window and the sun is shining through, they make some beautiful rainbow patterns in your house. So absolutely cool there. Great way to help birds during migration or any time of the year if you are having window collisions. Okay. Another product that you could use is Window Alert. Now these are very similar to Window Gems. They are a little bit different in how they work for birds. So like Window Gems, these decals are just clinging to the outside of your window, but they have a UV protection in them. So for example, birds see the UV in the decals like this. But I don't know if you can tell on this other picture how light and wispy and barely noticeable they are for humans. So we don't really see them as well as the birds see these because we don't see in UV like birds do. So this is another great option. And then my last option is my feather-friendly markers, the window collision tape. So we have this stuff on the top of our big bay window here, looking over at our feeders. And that is a great way to help birds be protected from window collisions and doing it in a semi-permanent manner. So what I mean by semi-permanent is that these can last for up to 8 years. So whereas Window Gems, you might have to reapply them every so once in a while because they either kind of get heat, they dry out and they're not as sticky anymore, or not that they are sticky, but they just get, the plastic kind of can get baked and then they're not as pliable and then they don't stick as well. The UV ones have to be reapplied. The UV does go away on them after a while, so you do have to replace these every once in a while. Window collision tape, you don't. Okay, they will stay good for at least 8 years, but they do take a little bit more effort than just applying these sticky decals to your window. Hey Angela, it's great to see ya. We must be off schedule or something because I haven't seen you in the store lately. But we're going to open a box together so I can show you all that's in here and exactly how it works. Window decals this is a great way to protect, especially if you have a large window. For example, if you have that window that is right above your front door and it's super tall, high up in the sky, you need a ladder to access it. Window decal tape like this is perfect because it's a one-time apply. You can leave it there. It's barely even noticeable anymore. I actually forget that it's there. Most people that maybe come in for the first time, they see it, they ask what it is. After that, I really forget that it's there, and it almost blends right in. It's very low profile. Okay, so I'm going to open it, and I'm doing an unboxing for the window decal tape, just so that you can see all that's included in your kit and what it's all about. So these kits come in a single roll and a roll of 3. Kind of depends on how much square footage of a window you're using to apply, but that's what is included, okay? Every box comes with a measuring tape, and the measuring tape is used to help line up your lines, okay? And I'll show you. I'm just letting you know we're gonna go over how to use it, all right? It comes with a roll of tape or 3, depending on which pack you purchase. And then it comes with instructions and a scraper, okay? So in here you do have a cool little sticker that tells you how you're making a big difference. It also has some more information. Talks about how you are helping to prevent over 1 billion deaths per year for window collisions. So it's kind of cool. So the instructions will tell you exactly how to do it, but essentially these markers have little squares. The tape itself has the little squares on it. So what you're going to do is you're going to line it up. You're going to line up your measuring tapes top and bottom, or side to side, depending on how you're running it. But then you're going to take out your tape, and you're going to roll it out, spread it out. And the tape has a sticky side on the bottom, and then there's actually a top portion that you're going to peel off at the very end. That's going to leave the dots there. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to use the measuring tapes as a guide to where to line up your tape. And the idea is that you do want to make a 2 by 2 distance. So you want the dots to be 2 inches apart, 2 inches from the bottom of each other. It doesn't matter how you do it, whether you do it, they call this the harmony pattern, or they do the symmetrical pattern. We did the symmetrical pattern here at the store, but you could do it however you'd like. But the idea is that you want them to be 2 inches apart, and that's with whether you're using the window alert or the window gems. All of these need to be at least 2 inches apart. Otherwise, birds are just going to fly right through. And that defeats the purpose, right? Oh, good to see that at least you got had a Junko. Yeah, it is sad. It is very sad when you have a window collision. Sometimes you're actually witnessing it, like you were sitting in the room or near the window where they actually collide, and you hear that hard thud, and then you go out and investigate and learn that it was actually a bird that hit the window, and it's very sad. I totally empathize with you. I totally agree. So, make sure we're, okay, so how it works, so you're rolling out your tape, measuring it up against your measuring tapes, and then you're applying it. So you pull it out and you stick it across. I like to use the squeegee to make sure that it has a nice firm stick. And then once you're ready, once the whole window is done lining it up, then you take the top peel off, okay, and it will leave the dots on there. Now, a thing to note is that this is it has, oh, this one actually says lifespan for 10 years, depending on the weather condition. But this product, it is not going to be, it's not permanent, it's semi-permanent. So it can last for a minimum of 8 up to 10 years, but it can be easily removed. Again, you just use a scraper, but I get my windows professionally cleaned, and they don't come off when the window cleaner is here. Whether he's cleaning the outside of the window, it does not come off. All right, so they are semi-permanent, and they work great for large windows or large areas where you need to protect the window from a window collision. Now, sometimes you'll see decals like this at forest preserves, or even big centers, big buildings will take advantage of tape like this, or different decals like this to help prevent window strikes, because birds are important. They're beautiful, they're fun to watch, and we want to keep them around for generations to come. So we need to do our part and help them out. It is really a small step that we can do to make a huge, huge difference for birds. All right. So if you guys have questions, let me know. I'm here to answer the questions, any questions you have, but especially if you have questions on window strikes, we're here for them. Now, all these products that I talked about today are, of course, available here in the store. I think actually all of them are actually available on our online store too, on my WBU / Joliet. They're all available there. Okay, now the thing too is that all these products are at least made in North America. These two are for sure made in the USA. This one's actually made in Canada. So again, you're supporting North America companies that are helping protect and conserve birds so that we get to have them for years to come. So don't forget to stop by this weekend. Help yourself out and grab some window decals. Not only are you helping yourself so you don't have to wake up to or be traumatized by finding a bird that's injured or has passed due to a window collision. You can make a huge difference from helping the birds in your own backyard or front yard just by protecting them from windows which they don't understand. Okay, one little step such as putting a little window decal out can make all the difference. All right. Yes. So this stuff could be put out at any time. These decals can be exchanged. They can be changed out at any time. In fact, we even have winter ones for winter. This is a mixed leaf pack, great for fall. But you can change them out to whether it's butterflies in the spring and summer, cardinals if you prefer in the winter, snowflakes if you like. These can be put out at any time. This one needs to be applied before it drops below 50. So right now, we're probably pretty good still, but we're taking time on whether or not this will hold up in colder weather. And we're kind of on the border of, is it going to get too cold yet? But I think if you grabbed this weekend and applied it, you would still be fine and it would work. But just remember, this is going to be a little bit more time consuming than something like this, right? These guys are a little bit easier to apply, but they're a little bit more temporary. This is a little bit more semi-permanent, longer lasting. You're going to get more decals for your per dollar, whereas these you're depending on which type of design you pick, you're going to get that many decals. So let's say if you need you have a very large bay window, you likely will need more than 9 decals that this mixed leaf pack has. But perhaps you can mix this mixed leaf up with, say, the rings and circles, which have 22. Oh, 22. And then you have more decals to play with, right? So it just kind of depends on what look you're going for, what style you're looking for, how much time you have, and what you ultimately want to do. But again, these are 3 really easy ways that you can come and grab here at the store, order online from our website, and protect your birds and protect your windows. Great question, Angela. I love that. Guys have any more questions? Otherwise, we hope to see you tomorrow. Don't forget, in store tomorrow, we have our morning workshop with the Will County Audubon Society. You can learn how to photograph birds at your feeders. Again, it's a workshop outside, so you're outside on our side garden, and you will be working with photographers from the Will County Audubon Society and learning how to do that to get the best photos of your birds. All right. Also tomorrow at 11 o'clock, I'm presenting on squirrels, feed them or defeat them. So if you'd like a little bit more information on how to either defeat squirrels at your bird feeders or help feed them at your bird feeders, we've got you covered on both ends. So please come by. We'd love to have you. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. I always go back and comment back to you and reply back to you. We really thank you and are happy that you watched and with us, or even at the replay. But if you have any questions, don't feel like you have to hold it in. Let us know in the comments or send me a message. We're here to help. We're here to advise you. We're your local bird feeding experts, and we're here to help. So if you would like some help, let us know, all right? Otherwise, you have a fabulous weekend. Enjoy the fall color. Enjoy the birds that are starting to come to our feeders, our winter visitors, like our juncos. And keep an eye out for other winter visitors that are starting to pop up. So we'd love to hear from you. Let us know in the comments. And we'll see you next Friday. Bye now.